In dense English Channel fog, a modern destroyer's radar tracks the Armada, firing airburst shells, shattering Spanish rudders. A helicopter hovers in dawn mist, launching Hellfire missiles at powder barges, igniting explosions as Spaniards fire helplessly. In 1588, the English Channel's brutal fog and shifting winds challenged the Spanish Armada's 130 ships sailing to England. King Philip II orders the Armada to link with Parma's army in the Netherlands, aiming to invade England. Thick fog blinds the Armada, while unpredictable winds disrupt their formation, leaving them vulnerable to unseen threats. A future warship appears, moving without wind, its radar piercing fog, armed with unmatched guns and missiles. The destroyer's radar maps the Armada's formation in fog, pinpointing ships without ever revealing its own position. 5-inch guns fire precise rounds. Missiles target command ships, far outranging the Armada's 16th century cannons. The destroyer stays distant, avoiding grappling hooks and ladders from Spanish sailors desperate to board it. At night, the destroyer strikes from fog, unseen, ensuring the Armada cannot counterattack in the blinding darkness. Every shell and missile is rationed, used only for strategic targets like command ships or supply barges. Anti-ship missiles struggle with wooden targets, so the destroyer prioritizes guns for smaller ships, saving missiles. The destroyer aims to block the Armada's link with Parma's army by destroying critical communication ships. Targeting signal ships, the destroyer disrupts Spanish orders, sowing confusion and delaying the Armada's coordination. The destroyer destroys barges carrying water, gunpowder, and masts, weakening the Armada against storms and sea. At night, the destroyer goes dark, using silent radar, creeping through fog to approach the Armada undetected. Radar screens reveal the Armada's formation. Small ships on edges, heavy galleons in the center, prime targets. 5-inch guns fire airburst shells, shredding sails and rudders, leaving Spanish galleons drifting helplessly in fog. Flashes light the night, metal shards rain on Spanish decks, sailors scream, firing cannons blindly into darkness. The destroyer repositions swiftly after each strike, maintaining distance, vanishing into fog to avoid detection. By dawn, Spanish ships drift, rudders broken, sails torn, colliding in chaos as their formation unravels. Morning reveals crippled Armada ships, exhausted sailors, and plummeting morale after the destroyer's relentless night attack. By day, the destroyer deploys a helicopter, using fog and night vision to strike Armada's vulnerable supplies. The helicopter lifts off, armed with guided missiles and night vision, ready to target Armada's supply barges. Night vision spots barges with gunpowder and water. The helicopter prepares to strike from above with precision. Hellfire missiles hit powder barges, triggering massive explosions, flames spreading to nearby Spanish sails and rigging. Spanish sailors hear chopper blade, fire muskets skyward, but shots miss the fast-moving helicopter in fog. Spanish officers shout to shield gunpowder and cut burning ropes, but the damage is already catastrophic. Terrified sailors call the helicopter a flying ghost ship, believing the destroyer is a demon from hell. Spanish morale collapses. Some sailors pray, others hide below decks, as fear overtakes the Armada's ranks. The Armada tightens formation, pushing galleons forward, desperately trying to trap the elusive destroyer in daylight. The destroyer counters with 5-inch guns and C-doubles, shredding masts and decks, crippling advancing Spanish ships. Missiles launch at a command galleon, obliterating its sails and deck, leaving it dead in the water. The Armada's formation breaks. Ships lose contact, drifting apart as orders fail and chaos takes over. Spanish captains abandon Parma's link-up, focusing on survival. steering damaged ships toward home ports. The Armada collapses, unable to invade England with many ships crippled and sailors utterly exhausted. Spanish sailors recount a mastless iron ghost, a metal ship raining thunder from beyond cannon range. English shores buzz with tales of thunder without lightning, and a ghost ship moving against the wind. The Armada's failure saves England, strengthening Queen Elizabeth II's reign and shifting European power dynamics. The destroyer maneuvers constantly, using speed to evade encirclement, maintaining its advantage over the Armada. Radar ensures the destroyer tracks every Armada ship, even through the thickest fog, without being seen. 5-inch guns fire airburst shells, fragments tearing sails and wounding sailors, maximizing damage with precision. Missiles are reserved for command ships, as the destroyer carefully manages its limited high-tech arsenal. Spanish sailors tremble, believing they face a supernatural force, their fear amplifying the destroyer's impact. Spanish officers struggle to rally troops, but lost signal ships disrupt orders, sowing further confusion. Destroyed water and powder barges leave the Armada, unable to sustain combat or survive prolonged voyages. Storms worsen the Armada's plight, sinking damaged ships as the destroyer's attacks take their toll. The destroyer stays hidden in daylight, using speed and radar to avoid detection by Spanish lookouts. The helicopter patrols, scanning for more supply barges, ready to strike with pinpoint missile accuracy. Guided missiles hit water barges, leaving the Armada critically short on drinking water for its sailors. Spanish sailors scramble for remaining water. Chaos erupts, and officers fail to restore order on deck. A major command ship burns after a missile strike, cutting all communication within the Armada's ranks. Some sailors kneel in prayer, convinced the Iron Ghost is divine punishment for their invasion attempt. Morale crumbles completely. Many sailors refuse to fight, hiding or preparing to flee the battle. The Armada scatters ships to avoid concentrated attacks, but this only weakens their defensive formation. Radar tracks the scattered Armada, allowing the destroyer to pick off key ships with surgical strikes. CIWS guns shred masts from afar, disabling Spanish ships' mobility with relentless, precise barrages. The destroyer fires its final missiles, obliterating the last command ship, sealing the Armada's fate. Without leaders, Spanish ships retreat chaotically, colliding in fog as panic overtakes their crews. Storms swallow crippled Armada ships, their broken hulls sinking under the weight of the destroyer's attacks. The destroyer watches from afar, ensuring the Armada cannot regroup, its mission nearly complete. Spanish captains log tales of an invincible Iron Ghost, a metal beast defying all known tactics. Surviving sailors reach ports, spreading stories of the Iron Ghost that shattered the Armada's dreams. In Spain, the Iron Ghost becomes a haunting legend, symbolizing the Armada's catastrophic defeat. English villagers share tales of thunder without lightning, crediting divine protection for their victory. The Armada's collapse weakens King Philip II's prestige, while England's naval power rises dramatically. Radar's precision gave the destroyer unmatched control, turning fog into a weapon against the Armada. The destroyer's advanced firepower and speed made the Armada's cannons and sails utterly obsolete. Fear of the unknown Iron Ghost broke the Armada's spirit, proving psychological warfare's devastating power. Over half the Armada's ships are damaged or sunk, unable to continue their invasion mission. Survivors describe blinding flashes, deafening blasts, and a shadowy destroyer vanishing into the night. Spanish officers admit defeat, unable to counter a foe with superior technology and tactics. The destroyer vanishes after victory, leaving no trace, only myths of its supernatural power. The Iron Ghost legend lives on in both England and Spain, shaping maritime folklore forever. The Armada's defeat marks a turning point, paving the way for England's naval dominance. English churches hold services, thanking divine intervention for saving them from the Spanish invasion. In Spain, the Armada's loss teaches hard lessons about ambition and the limits of 16th century technology. The destroyer's origins remain a mystery, known only through sailors' tales of its ghostly presence. Modern tactics, technology, and psychological warfare crushed the Armada, rewriting history's course. The Armada's failure reshapes Europe, cementing England's rise as a global naval power.